Hello again, my name's John. I'm a retired cook from the northeast of England in the UK, and welcome to another one of my pie videos. And in this one I'll show you how we make our amazing classic pork pies. And as this recipe uses the hot water crust pastry method, they're super easy to make and absolutely delicious. And I'll show you how we make our classic pork pie filling from scratch. And if you don't use pork products, you can use ground chicken, beef or turkey instead. It's entirely up to you. You can see the ingredients list and full written method for this recipe on the recipe page on the channel's website. And the link to that page and lots more is in the description box under the video. Just find and click on the word more, and that'll give you access to all the relative links for this video, including our website store products. Okay, let's get on with today's recipe. I'll start the recipe by making the hot water crust pastry. Get the water onto a medium heat. And while that's heating up, add the salt to the flour and mix it in. Using your bowl scraper, form a well in the middle of the flour. Back to the stove. Now add your butter and lard to the hot water. If you don't use lard, as it is a pork product, you can use all butter or a solid vegetable fat instead. Once melted, add the hot liquid to the flour. Now using my trusty wooden spoon handle, I'll bring it all together. Now switch to your bowl scraper and scrape down the sides of the bowl. Once it's all together, tip it out on the bench and give it a few folds. It should be cool enough to handle by now, but always check first. Now flatten the pastry out, get it wrapped in cling film, biodegradable if possible, and get it into the fridge for at least half an hour before using it. On to making the pork filling for these pies. Beginning with 400 grams or 14 ounces of minced or ground pork with at least a 20% fat content. Any less than that, they would turn out too dry. I'll start by adding the meat to my food processor. If you don't have a machine, you can process the minced meat with a knife on a suitable cutting board. First ingredient to go in is the salt. Next is a 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. Now the 1 teaspoon of dried sage. The spices for these are 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper and a 1/2 teaspoon of ground mace. If you can't get hold of mace, use ground nutmeg instead. And unless you've already added it, the final ingredient is approximately a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg. And we do have a limited number of these stainless steel nutmeg graters in the store if you're interested. I'll even throw in a free nutmeg for you. Okay, blitz that for a few seconds until everything is combined. And that literally only took 15 seconds. Now carefully get it out of the machine. And I've divided mine into 4 equal amounts of 100 grams, that's 3.5 ounces each. Now there's lots of small pie tins and moulds you can use to make these pies in, but I'll be using these non-stick pie and pudding moulds. These are an ideal size for individual pork pies, and this 4-pack is available in the store if you're interested. The link for these is in the description box. And I've greased them with a little lard. For the pie bases, I've cut off 4 pieces of pastry, each weighing 110 grams or 4 ounces each, and rolled them into balls. The rest of the pastry will be rolled out for the lids of the pies. Okay, I'll quickly go through rolling out the lids. Get your piece of lid pastry and give it a few folds to make it supple. Dust it with a little flour and roll it out as shown, using the 1/8 spacer if you have our rolling pins. Now using a cutter the same size as the top of the pie molds that you're using, cut out the discs. And that's it for the lids for now. Time to make up the egg wash. Crack a medium-sized egg into a container. Now add a dash of milk. Thoroughly whisk until it becomes loose and runny. If you don't like or can't use eggs, simply brush your pastry with a little milk instead. As usual, I'll make up one pie from start to finish. Get one of the pastry balls, place it in the mould, and using your fingers, gently tease it up the sides of the mould a little at a time. This pastry is very forgiving, so you can handle it and manipulate it into shapes quite easily. And if you've seen my hand-raised pork pie video, it's a very similar action, only on the outside of a mould called a pie dolly. Make sure the pastry is sticking out of the top of the mould by about 13mm or half an inch. And that's it, the base is done, and that only took about 45 seconds. Before going any further, preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, that's 355 Fahrenheit, or gas mark 4. Take one of the meatballs and get it into the pie base, and gently press it down, expelling any trapped air. Find something like a hollow tube to cut a half-inch hole in the pie lid. My small sausage stuffer tube is ideal for this, and this is what we call the jelly hole. Brush egg wash all around the inside of the pastry lip. It's okay if you get any on the meat. Place the lid on and carefully line it up. And using your fingers and thumbs, crimp the two pastries together all around the pie. Now go around a couple of times to ensure you've got a good seal. Once you're happy with it, give the top a good coat of the egg wash, being careful not to get any between the pastry and the mould. And a very quick mention to the channel's Patreon, PayPal and Super Thanks supporters. I'll do the name splash and shout out a little later in the video. And there you go, one pie complete. And here's the other three all done too. One little detail I forgot to film is using the end of your wooden spoon handle, just poke a little way into the meat through the hole. This will give any liquid room to flow into. Now get these into the preheated oven and set your timer for 45 minutes. And while those are baking, I hope you don't mind if I give my 4 recipe books a quick shout out. The books have lots of our favourite recipes from our work kitchens in them, and also book 4 in this series is totally dedicated to bread recipes. Okay, time's up on these classic British pork pies, and they're looking absolutely fantastic, and the aroma in my kitchen is amazing. And those meat juices will settle back into the pies as they cool. I'll let the pies settle for 10 minutes on the rack, and when I come back I'll get them out of the tins, and then I'll show you how to make the jelly and finish them off, and of course have a taste. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, time to get them out of the tins. They are still quite hot at this point. If you're a pork pie jelly lover, making a full pan of jellied pork stock or aspic is a lot of work for these 4 pies. So here's a quick workaround you can use. Get half a chicken stock cube and 1 gelatin leaf into a small jug. Add 100 ml of boiling water. Give it a good mix, making sure the leaf has melted. And while it's still hot, drizzle it into the jelly hole in the pie lid. Double check that it's not running out the bottom. Fill it right up to the top. It's not the real thing, but it's a very close second. Now get it into the fridge for a couple of hours to set up. Okay, this is one that's still hot and without the jelly. And as you can hear, the pastry is crisp, and as you can see, the pork filling is very juicy on the inside. And this one is cold with the jelly set inside. The pastry still has that crispness to it. And as you can see, the gelatin has set on the inside. Time for a taste. And oh yes, that is absolutely delicious. And here's one that's been made in our usual 5-inch individual pie tins. Just as easy to make and just as delicious to eat. These are truly wonderful, hot or cold, and I really hope you give these pies a try. And that's a big thumbs up for the good old British pork pie, guys. And as mentioned earlier in the video, here is the latest list of my Patreon, PayPal and Super Thank You button supporters. And they are Helen Carroll, Falk Pesk, Robert Fleming, Jonta, Tomalane Ivy, The Doctor 1225, RBSB Brothers, Jens K3250 and Celia Taylor 6295. Thanks very much, guys. I really do appreciate all that you do in supporting the channel. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in your kitchen and bye for now.